Hey there, my name is Pravus, and welcome back to more Patron in Gimliesburg. From this aerial shot, you can see that the town has grown quite substantially recently. It's looking pretty good, gotta admit. All right, so we're gonna continue expanding a little bit more to the, I assume this is southeast at this point, so we can get access to a whole bunch of new farmable land, which will open up a few new options for us. Also, we're gonna go ahead and continue working down the research and try to get a couple of new production chains up and running. I would like to get the paper mill and the bookbinders going for us. I'd also like to get the healer's house, and at some point we should be able to start making medicine, I think. I don't know exactly where that is. I just know that medicine is a resource that's been taunting me right up over here for a very, very long time, so I assume there's got to be a way. Ooh, also an embassy. I have no idea what that does, but that could be kind of fun. The point is, though, we're actually getting surprisingly close toward the end of the game. Not a lot more that we need to do in order to say that we have finished this off, but a couple of big ticket items like cathedrals, universities, etc., all of that has to get done. I don't know why I need to research the cow ranch before I'm able to access paper, by the way, but that is just sort of the way of things. Isn't that funny? Anyway, let's just continue expanding off in this glorious direction. Loads of resources we'll be able to take advantage of, lots more forestry we could set up, and also a lot of beautified little neighborhoods. Let's see, the king sends his regards, a bunch of jewelry. Ah, that's actually a pretty nice gift to receive there, thank you. Is he proposing to me? I have no idea. All right, so we can get cows. That's gonna start producing some milk, some beef, and some leather for us. Does cost a shocking amount of gold to upkeep. Holy crap. You're telling me I need 600 gold per cow? That can't be right. No, okay. The upkeep is regardless of how many cows are in the ranch, thank God. I mean, yeah, we're gonna need a lot of oats and stuff, but like, whoa, I was about to be very, very upset. All right, I don't even know why we have cows. I really don't, but it was this thing that we could do, so we did it. Now we got cows. Let's go ahead and start working on that paper mill, which of course is gonna require even more forestry, so I've set up another one over here. Okay, the paper mill is done, so what's involved in that? Let's see, we have the mint, I don't care about that. Perfume shop, oh right. Yeah, you need a lot more oil to make this work, plus a freaking ton of very luscious flowers to make perfume. I assume that's a gentry thing? Yeah, it is, okay. Well, I don't know if I care about that too much. There's the paper mill, requires lumber and leather. Okay, so there's a reason, I suppose, to have the cows to produce some more consistent leather. Lumber, unfortunately, is gonna be fairly costly. It's gonna take me a lot to make that work, but okay. We'll go ahead and start setting this up. And I'm betting that this efficient binding is, yes, place a bookbinder next to a paper mill in order to get a productivity boost. Okay, so we want to save some space over here for a little bit more of our industry, but that's okay. We'll go ahead and upgrade a couple of these houses, make sure that people are nice and happy. How are we doing as far as housing conditions? It says we're at 100 for the gentry. So whatever 2 gentry we've got left, apparently I did happen to find the correct house and turn them into brick mansions. There needs to be a better way to find that. There just does. Yes, there's supposed to be a little icon saying, hey, we're living in a house we're not happy in, but we already saw that the gentry were unhappy with the housing situation, so clearly it wasn't working. Clearly. All right, let's go ahead and improve out the press. That's going to improve our production by a bit. We'll also reduce upkeep so we don't need as much leather and as much lumber. So 200 lumber and 80 leather turn into 156 paper. I'm not going to lie, that doesn't feel like a lot. That doesn't feel like a lot at all. I need way more lumber production to make that worthwhile. Ugh. I think we can afford to also start selling off some of our excess gentry luxury goods, since I'm currently sitting on way more wine and jewelry than I really know what to do with. This means I'm going to start ramping up once again my gold production, so we're going to be making a stinking ton of money, but I mean, we might as well just be producing the highest refined stuff that we can and go from there. Let's also boost up another one of these oil mills, since I know we've been having some issues with our oil production up to this point, and set down a bunch more sunflower farms, because you can never have enough of these, apparently. Let's also set up another orchard over here and another distillery, and I'm going to start making some plum brandy. That stuff should be tasty. I like the idea behind that. Let's see, that is one of the laborer luxuries we actually have not been producing up to this point. And actually, it occurs to me, we haven't been producing anywhere near enough beer either. Yeah, that's because we've been using all of my wheat, turning it into bread, which I guess is the right choice, but, I mean, if you want to drink your bread, then you just make beer. We're in for a treat, my lord. The local captain is willing to organize an expedition to search the surrounding islands. We participate as patrons. Wait, what? Hold on. For a modest sum, we can participate as patrons. We now get to go and colonize elsewhere? Oh, this is new. Success is not guaranteed. We're in. It's an opportunity we simply cannot afford to miss. Spend 2,000 gold. I mean, yeah. It's not like I have any trouble as far as producing money, so that seems like a pretty awesome freaking deal. Let's do it. Oh, yeah, let's not forget we also wanted to place down a bookbinder, which doesn't fit amazingly well unless we do something like this. Sure. I'm starting to get, I think, a little bit more efficient with some of my grid patterning, I think. But again, you know, as always, like, if a building's a little bit too big, it just gets a bit awkward. Over here, we're setting up another distillery with the intention of growing some more wheat. And we'll also want to grow some more tobacco, I think, at some point, but wheat is the predominant crop that we're going to need in order to make sure that we are able to make some beer, since I now realize that I am completely lacking in that. And tobacco, too. Yeah, we're getting a lot more laborers. They're consuming a lot more than I would have expected. Candles is the only thing that I find that I am producing way more than I need. If only I could make, like, an oat beer or something. That would be nice. Alas and alack, I cannot. But you know what? Who cares? We've got massive increases to our farming potential. We can afford to just grow a ridiculous amount of wheat. Bookbinder's done. We're going to go ahead and reduce the upkeep by 30%. Takes paper, iron, and dyes. Right, because we're using dyes in order to write our lettering. Got it. Okay, well, that would make sense. That just means that I need even more dye output, which we could do over here. We'll go ahead and expand this further. Let me guess, though. You're out of something. Yep, flowers. We haven't got enough flowers. Dang it, all the heck. All right, fine. We're going to import a bunch of flowers. I know I could grow more. I've been trying to grow more. It's never enough. I should note, by the way, I've been looking for ways to try and improve our social classes a bit more, and it seems this is still not quite balanced the way that the developers intended. There's a post on Steam from back in, like, August 2021, so a few months ago, where they were acknowledging that the class advancement wasn't going as fast as it needed to. And I don't see any evidence that's really changed, at least not yet. Supposedly, schools help. The higher your education, the faster they're going to go up. So, like, maybe something we're going to do once we get to the Royal Hall and open up a bit more influence is maybe go for some sort of, like, an education proclamation, an education focus down over here. And I don't know if the efficiency will make a difference, but maybe it does, and if it does, cool. That might be a way to get us to kind of naturally start promoting ourselves a little bit more. We should have the ability to build a cathedral now if I wanted to. Where'd that be? There it is. Oh, wow, it is a big building. It is a big building. Look at this thing. It's amazing. If I could fit a cathedral, like, along the shore side, that'd be kind of cool, wouldn't it? And just set a whole bunch of parks and stuff around it, make it look as beautiful as possible. Kind of like the idea of it. It doesn't fit outstandingly well, but we might be able to make this work. Anything over here? No, barely, but no. Now, here's the thing about cathedrals. I believe that there's a policy that we're going to enact pretty soon called religious zeal, which is supposed to increase the impact of a church if it is within the radius of a cathedral. Oh, good lord. No. Not doing that, Mr. King. Those herbs are worth a lot of money. There it is. Yeah, religious zeal. So 15% more effective. I don't know if that really matters that much, given that religiosity has not been an issue, like, at all. But it's a thing we could do. What are we low on, by the way? Loyalty. Well, we are kind of spitting in the face of the king a fair bit, so there's that. Education is not being met. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, that confirms to me, then, we surely do need more schools and/or we surely do need to get some education policy up and a-running because, yeah, we have a pretty uneducated populace, it turns out. Gotta keep expanding the productivity of our windmills and stuff. One thing I did notice as I was just perusing... expedition returns! Oh, cool, we found a bunch of stuff I don't care about. Yay, thank you. I was hoping to set up, like, a new colony or something awesome. Anyway, I noticed we had stacked up a surprising amount of wheat. We had about 4,000 at the time that I looked at it. So, some extra windmills and extra people working in order to process that is great, but we're also going to need to take that flour and start turning it into extra bread because I apparently don't have any. Which might just mean that either I'm not producing enough, or, perhaps just as likely, maybe more likely, my people are consuming bread as their preferred form of caloric intake. Which would make sense to me. Don't get me wrong. I fully understand. Carbs equal the best calories. I mean, the worst for you, but they taste awesome. So I don't really blame anyone who would do that, but yeah, that might be part of the problem is people are just prioritizing eating all of the bread. So, we'll have some extra bakeries going. We'll process a heck of a lot more grain if we can. In the meantime, this area is expanding out beautifully. We have grown quite a bit even in the last 20 minutes that I've been playing this. There we go. I took the liberty of building myself a cathedral. With a nice bunch of beautification all around it, just make sure it looks extra, extra good. Interior decorations. Spend some of that textiles in order to boost up our religion, huh? Again, not something we need, and it does cost me books and candles per year, so I don't think that a cathedral is a very good investment on my part. But it looks cool, and at the very least, we can have that as some sort of a feather in our cap, so to speak, and be like, hey, look, I got a cathedral. Do you got a cathedral? I don't think you do. Why did I say it like that? I don't know, but you get the idea. As snobby as possible. We built a cathedral, gosh dang it. And that makes us prestigious. What's something else we've researched recently? Oh, the healer's house, increasing the health of all my citizens in a large radius. Unfortunately, there's no good place to put this that's going to leave enough space to actually affect most people, so it's not the most helpful thing that I could get in the world. I think that there is supposed to be a bonus if you attach this next to a healer's hut, but I'm obviously not doing that because, well, I mean, my healer's huts, or sorry, my herb gatherers, that's what I meant to say, are usually out here in the forests, not next to people. So that's one of the least useful things I think I could possibly get. Oh yeah, I actually kind of forgot something I wanted to do was to place down a tailor's shop. Let's go ahead and do that right here along the coast. Again, differing from a clothing shop, the tailor's shop is going to start making fine clothes for the gentry, of which we have 3. But by God, they're going to have more clothes than they know what to do with, that is for sure. How's this gold mine doing up here, by the way? It's producing 360 gold per year. We can reduce the tools upkeep a fair bit. Apparently only tools, though, not the lumber upkeep. That's interesting. But we can produce up to 467 gold from 2 workers. That seems like a lot. What do I do with gold? Well, the only thing I know how to do with it is to make a mint and start refining that stuff into some gold coins, which we can go ahead and do right over there, I suppose. Let's set up another warehouse as well. I feel like we probably would benefit from some more storage locally. And then we'll expand the roads out like so, and boom, okay. Cutting into a lot of our tree growing space over here, I'm aware, but you know what? That's just kind of what you have to live with. I've also learned how to make a university. There it is. Increases social class advancement of young adults living in the area if there's enough room. Unfortunately, it does seem like the radius leaves a lot to be desired, doesn't it? Yikes, dude. This is not the best. The only thing I can think to do is literally start tearing down some houses in the center of town, or at least some of the farms, in favor of more education-focused buildings. And I don't even know if I gain anything necessarily from having increased merchants and gentry. It just seems like the sort of thing that we ought to do, you know? So let's see. The mint is done. We'll assign a worker there. We can't do anything with reusable molds because somehow I ran out of iron. That's weird. I usually have more iron than I know what to do with. Let's go ahead and buy a bit. Make sure we have plenty with which we can work. And then, yeah, we'll expand out the furnace. It looks like at the cost of about 100 gold, we can get up to 1,440 gold coins per year, and that is before I even reduce my upkeep. Of course, coal is a factor as well, and we are using a lot of that up, so that's a thing to worry about. But yeah, so if we're looking to make a lot of money, I mean, the mint is certainly a way to do it, and that's just per worker. We could always add in more. I'll be honest, though, trade seems like a better way to do things. Why increase, like, my base tax, right? Like EU4 terms. Why increase the base tax when trade is the most lucrative thing you can possibly do? Just trade and production. Same concept applies here. Oh, we have built up this university. Okay, so let's see. It does have an exceptionally high upkeep. Takes firewood, oil lamps, and some books, and 4 workers to keep that going. 24 slots is all we got? Nah, we're going to expand this a lot. We're going to expand this a lot. 56? I mean, I don't even think we have enough houses around this to justify it, but that's fine. Let's reduce that upkeep a little bit to something a bit more reasonable. Okay, so now we're using up some of the oil lamps and stuff that we're making, not to mention a lot of the books that we're producing, but, okay. So what does this do? Hang on, we can fund another expedition. Sure, we'll do it. Advancement of young adults living in the area, if there's enough room, provides education to laborers and merchants and gentry specifically. Not necessarily to the peasants, so I don't know if increasing education exactly... Like, does the individual education rating of each class result in them advancing? I don't think that's how it works. Did we just finish researching the Royal Hall? We did. So where's my government building? There you are. So here's my government building, the Royal Hall. We can pass some more decrees. I do think we want to go for the education focus like we were talking about, boosting up education across the board, not to mention some efficiency, so the schools will be a little bit better. What else should we do? We could do garrison? No. Market toll? It's a way of making a lot of money for sure. Coins per 2-story house, taxes the gentry, tribute. Yeah, that doesn't help me much unless it actually lets me increase the amount of social classes I'm getting. We could have reduced upkeep. We could do basic goods production, tariffs, secular society, church, and state. None of this seems that important, to be honest. Maybe basic goods for now. We'll do that, but that only leaves me with 3 influence left. That's not a whole lot to work with. Yeah, education is by a long shot my worst initiative right now. I'm kind of surprised by that, but it's true. Everything else is looking pretty decent. Loyalty takes time to build up, but that's fine. And another housing shortage, because why the heck wouldn't there be another housing shortage? All right, we'll fix this in a moment. There, that should solve it. A whole new section. Whole new neighborhood, no problem at all. We're increasing the number of students who can work over here, getting another school going since this area was already getting a little bit overcrowded as is, and insulation, blah, 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 blah. I wonder if most of my schools are placed in a position around the wooden houses, and as a result, there's not enough laborers living in the area. If I made these into all stone houses, would that increase, or at least encourage, some of the laborers to live in this area, therefore within the radius of a school, and therefore getting educated? I don't know. I mean, we've only got 3 students over here, but that's fine. You know, young families will move in here in good time. Don't you even worry about it. What is this? Natural immigration. Interesting. Increase immigration for every church and school in my town? When you say increasing immigration, are you talking just about the happiness stats, or are we talking about literally people moving in? Because so far, I still have not figured out a way to get proper immigration aside from events. That's the only way that I've figured out how to make this work so far. There might be a way that we were supposed to, like, enact some sort of a policy or something that actually would have brought people in per year, and that's one way to increase my population, besides the natural birth rate. That might exist. That may be a thing. I've thought that for a while, and yet I have yet to find any evidence that that is the case. Which makes it feel real stupid if it is the case, and people are probably yelling at me, and justly so, but yeah, I don't know. It'd be really nice if there were ways of getting some proper immigration. So it probably does exist, because the developers of this game are far smarter than I am, and you know they know what they're doing. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Well, we'll see what happens. Let's go ahead and get ourselves another brickworks, and frankly, I could probably use another clay pit. We're having some issues as far as production of bricks. So we'll go ahead and boost that up at least a bit. Just continuing to build out our industry for right now. Everything's looking pretty good on this front. I'm wondering if we're kind of reaching the point where we should be ending this series. There's not a lot more for me to research, believe it or not. We've actually kind of got just about everything. The one thing that's really missing here is going to be the patron's mansion. The construction of my own personal large mansion fit for a true patron. Be kind of fun. It's not like I don't have the goods to do this. We absolutely do. Ooh, increase the happiness of everybody at the cost of textiles. That could be kind of fun. Yeah, we could go ahead and build this up. But I'm kind of thinking that this might just be the end, because, I mean, while I could continue certainly expanding, we've had really no issues with resources. The only thing that I can't seem to produce at all is medicine. Kind of weirdly enough. I'm not sure why that's a thing. Wait, I don't suppose... Hold up. Herbalist huts, you don't have, like, the ability to change your recipe. No, you don't. Okay. That would have been a little bit too much to hope for there. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else we can really do. We can build out the healer's house just so we can say we did it. Sure, question mark. Let's just go ahead and do that, I guess. Down over here, we've got this all going for us. Yeah, let's just go ahead and rush toward getting the embassy, because I want to know what it does. Let's get the Gentry Guild House, and let's get the Patron's Mansion. And then with those all done, even though I haven't technically researched everything, I'll have at least gotten all of the big-ticket items, and that'll make me feel pretty good about myself. Okay, here's the healer's house. Oh, and sure enough, actually, it does turn my herbs and some oil into medicine. Okay, so now we're able to start finally producing that medicine. Man, for something that has been up here on the main screen as one of the key resources of the game for a very long time, we haven't really had any way of getting that key resource for a very long time. That seems a little bit weird, right? Oh yeah, also, where's our tailor workshop? There you are, hello. So you take some wool, tools, textiles, and make fine garments. And we can reduce that upkeep to make you just a little bit more efficient. There we go. All right, so we are now producing fine garments as well. Still missing the perfume, but I mean, do we really need to set up perfume? I guess for the sake of being a completionist, we can do that real quick. Oh, here's a problem. We're out of coal and we're out of firewood. Whoa, whoa. All right, well, at least we're importing some and we're producing again, but all of a sudden, holy cram. That's a little bit scary. All right, everyone had a few minutes of being super cold. Hopefully you'll end up being okay. The perfume shop is now built up. Takes, again, oil, flowers. I'm going to start producing a lot more flowers and some sunflower seeds and so on. And we can start producing some of that now, too. An eclipse? Hey, that seems appropriate for me. Some superstitious brothers and sisters are looking at the passing solar eclipse as a bad omen, causing a ruckus in the streets. Okay. Preachers, get out there and start a cult. That's probably the best solution. Alternatively, improve safety and stuff, but for the most part, that's all right. Yeah, let the preachers just go do their thing. What do we pay them for, if not to make people a little bit less scared when there's a solar eclipse? A perfectly natural phenomenon. Just go ahead and calm down. Everything's fine. Nothing to worry about. Praise Pravus. Hey, luxury goods is done. Let's go ahead and start researching the Patron's mansion. Okay, the Patron's mansion is done. Oh, also the embassy. Oh, it increases loyalty. Oh. That's actually a pretty helpful building. We can go ahead and place one of these. This will capture a pretty large area. Maybe not like everything. Seems like you really need to plan out saving like a really large segment of the center of your town to get full use out of some of these buildings, like schools, churches, cathedrals, universities, whatever else. I just don't have the heart in it to just knock down everyone's homes. I know it's probably the most efficient thing to do, but it doesn't feel good. What else can we do? There's the Patron's Mansion, your very own seat of power and a testament to your governing genius. Oh, yeah, I do like the idea of this, absolutely. Where can I place you, though? Unfortunately, there's no good spot. They're all on the outskirts, no matter what I do. Fine, we'll place it close to the embassy and the cathedral, because that just makes some sense. And while we're at it, let's make sure we place down a quick Merchants Guild House and also a Gentry Guild House. I'll place them close to each other because why the heck not? And let's get to work on building up my own personal governor's mansion. And this reminds me of when I played Banished with the Colonial Charter mod. I spent a lot of time trying to put together my own custom mansion. Not nearly as involved in this particular game, but we can still make it look really nice. There we go. I'd say that looks pretty good. The only thing it needs is just wider streets across the board. Native relics? Oh my gosh, we can do something to the native villages? Let's see, increase religion, reduce safety. Now let's go ahead and increase the loyalty. That seems fine. Does this do absolutely anything? No, not even a little bit. It is a completely useless structure, but it looks cool. You gotta admit, it looks pretty darn nice. And with the parks and stuff in between, even better. There's our Merchant Guild House, and there is our Gentry Guild House. Once again, not entirely sure what these do for us, but we do get some extra income as a result. So everything's looking pretty solid. All right. Well, I think that's where we're going to end things here. At this point, there's nothing to do except for just continue to expand in the stuff that I've already done. We've researched pretty much everything. We are sprawling over a large chunk of the island. If anything, I kind of wish that I could zoom out even further to fully capture all of its glory. But this has been a pretty fun little experience so far. And remember, this game is still in early access, so it is receiving some additional updates and improving in various different ways. There's a few things that I would certainly see change as far as like making forestry just kind of more naturally sustainable. Improving the insulation of your houses a lot more than that. Maybe some better ways to communicate resources via the UI. But for the most part, I think the game's in a really good and enjoyable state. And I think one of the things I really like about it is the developers are encouraging you to beautify your town as much as possible. And I think they've actually managed to do that. They've accomplished that better than some other similar games. So I feel like I actually was invested in just making some nice little parks. It's almost City Skylines meets Banished. A little bit. That might be taking it a bit far, but I think you get what I'm trying to say. Anyway, thank you all very much for watching this series. I hope that you enjoyed as much as I did. If so, I would humbly ask that you hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, hit that notify bell, and I will see you guys next time.